Welcome to The Next Revolution. I'm Steve Hilton, and this is the home of positive populism. Pro-worker, pro-family, pro-community. Tonight, the Democrats, the establishment media, the never-Trumpers, all of them dividing America. They will never stop. They will never stop because this is what they really, truly care about. Russia, 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 collusion, obstruction, a stolen election, an illegitimate president, conspiracy theories, obsession, derangement. They don't care about healthcare, prescription drug costs, deductibles, and pre-existing conditions, all the things they say they want to focus on. They don't care about infrastructure. They don't care about the environment. They don't care about education. They sure as hell don't care about immigration. They don't care about jobs, the economy, taxes, wages, raises. They do not care about you or your life. They care only about themselves and their power. All of them. Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff, Nadler, their establishment media allies, Maddow, Cuomo, Chuck Todd, Nicole Wallace. They're prepared to do anything. Divide America, undermine faith in democracy and the rule of law. Anything if it helps take down Trump, the insurgent populist they despise. They are a modern aristocracy. They think they are born to rule. They consider it the most appalling impertinence that the American people kicked them out in 2016 and installed an outsider in the Oval Office. They see it as a peasants' revolt, and they've been trying to overturn it ever since. That's what this is about, all of it, whether it's demands for more information or more testimony or the underlying evidence or impeachment or whatever the hell the latest thing is. It's all about one thing, really: the establishment's fury at the populist revolution and their implacable determination to crush it.
Welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It is the 22nd of April, and on today's podcast, we will be covering a Zero Hedge article entitled, "The New York Times states the tables have turned. Time to investigate the FBI, Steele, and the rest of the witch hunters." My friends, it is now time for Trump to investigate the investigators. But before we get into any of this, will you please welcome our new sponsor, Virtual Shield VPN. Hey guys, let me show you one of the ways I use Virtual Shield VPN. You see my IP address ending in 1914. I come over to Virtual Shield and click connect. I give it a few moments. I come back over here to my IP address and click refresh. And there you have it. It's completely changed. You can get all this and more from Virtual Shield. So friends, if you're interested in using this service, you can go into the description box below and click the Virtual Shield VPN link to get a 40% discount off for the month of April. This is the best way to support True Reporting. Thank you. All right, my friends, it's good to be back, and welcome to True Reporting. We will go ahead and get into this Zero Hedge article, and it states, as we now shift from the witch hunt against Trump to investigations. All right, my friends, welcome back. It is good to be back, and we will go ahead and hop into this Zero Hedge article. It states, as we now shift from the witch hunt against Trump to investigating the investigators who spied on him. Remember this, Donald Trump was supposed to lose the 2016 election by almost all accounts, and had Hillary won, as expected, none of this would have seen the light of day. We wouldn't know that a hyper-partisan FBI had spied on the Trump campaign, as Attorney General William Barr put it during his April 10th congressional testimony. We wouldn't know that a Clinton-linked operative, Joseph Mifsud, seeded Trump campaign aide George Papadopoulos with the rumor that Russia had dirt on Hillary Clinton. Right? It's all projection, my friends. which would later be coaxed out of the Papadopoulos by a Clinton-linked Australian ambassador, Alexander Downer, and that this apparent setup would be the genesis of the FBI's Operation Crossfire Hurricane, operation against the Trump campaign. We wouldn't know about the role of Fusion GPS, the opposition research firm hired by Hillary Clinton's campaign to commission the Steele dossier. Fusion is also linked to the infamous Trump Tower meeting and hired Nellie Orr, the CIA-linked wife of DOJ's then and number 4 employee, Bruce Orr. Nellie fed her husband Bruce intelligence she had gathered against Trump while working for the Fusion. According to transcripts of her closed-door congressional testimony, and quote, your husband testified under oath that you, quote, provided me with a memory stick that included research she, meaning you, had done for Fusion GPS on various Russian figures. It says here, and if not for reporting by the Daily Caller's Chuck Ross and others, we wouldn't know that the FBI sent a longtime spook, Stephen Halper, to infiltrate and spy on the Trump campaign. After the Obama DOJ paid him over $400,000 right before the 2016 U.S. election, out of more than $1 million he received while Obama was president. And you got to remember, guys, that this guy, that Obama, definitely had plants within the Trump administration. They were already there. They were waiting on Trump to get in. It was all a trap. But remember when Trump got in and everything was, there were a lot of cameras. There was a lot of spying going on. It was wiretapped. And everyone made fun of it like it was a joke, but it was very real. This was to overthrow a sitting president. That is treasonous. That is punishment by death. Continuing on. It says here, according to the New York Times, the tables are turning, starting with the Steele dossier. The release of Thursday of the report by the special counsel Robert S. Mueller III underscored what had grown clearer for months, that while many Trump aides had welcomed contacts with the Russians, some of the most sensational claims in the dossier appeared to be false, and others were impossible to prove. Mueller's report contained over a dozen passing references to the document's claim, but no overall assessment of why so much did not check out. Now the dossier, financed by the Hillary Clinton campaign and Democratic National Committee and compiled by the former British intelligence agent Christopher Steele, is likely to face new, possible harsh scrutiny from the multiple inquiries, says the New York Times. We know the New York Times and these big-time information giants, these newspapers are all run by the CIA. Missing a letter there just for censorship, you understand. While congressional Republicans have vowed to investigate, the DOJ's Inspector General is considering whether the FBI improperly relied on the dossier when they used it to apply for a surveillance warrant on Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. The IG also wants to know about Steele's sources and whether the FBI disclosed any doubts as the veracity of the dossier. Attorney General Barr, meanwhile, said he will review the FBI's conduct in Russia investigation after saying the agency spied on the Trump campaign. Doubts over the dossier, he says. The FBI scrambled to vet the dossier's claims are well known. According to an April 2017 New York Times report, the FBI agreed to pay Steele $50,000 for solid corroboration of his claims. Steele was apparently unable to produce satisfactory evidence and was ultimately not paid for his efforts. Mr. Steele met FBI contact in Rome in early October, bringing a stack of new intelligence reports, one dated September 14th that Mr. Putin was facing fallout over his apparent involvement in the DNC hack and was receiving conflicting advice on what to do. The agent said that if Mr. Steele could get solid corroboration of his reports, the FBI would pay him $50,000 for his efforts, according to two people familiar with the offer. Ultimately, he was not paid, again from the New York Times. Still, the FBI used the dossier to obtain the FISA warrant on Page, while the document itself was heavily shopped around to various media outlets. The late then Senator No Name provided a copy to former FBI Director James Comey, who already had a version, and briefed President Trump on the salacious document. Again, this is why Trump does not like No Name. And he gave the thumbs down for his health care plan, too. Comey's briefing to Trump to Trump was then used by CNN and BuzzFeed to justify reporting on publishing the dossier following the election. Let's not forget that in October 2016, both Hillary Clinton and her campaign chairman, John Podesta Skippy, promoted the conspiracy theory that a secret Russian server was communicating with Trump Tower. So, yeah, this is right here. Tweets from Hillary Clinton and John Podesta. Computer scientists have apparently uncovered a covert server linking the Trump organization to a Russian-based bank. Complete lies. Donald Trump is a secret email server set up to communicate privately with the Russian Alpha Bank. Again, they are fed these talking points. You will see these all the time if you get on Twitter. You'll definitely see it. The report was debunked after internet sleuths traced the IP address to a marketing server located outside Philadelphia, leading Alpha Bank executives to file a lawsuit against the Fusion GPS in October 2017. These people are stupid, everyone. They're not smart. Claiming their reputations were harmed by the Steele dossier. And who placed the Trump Alpha theory with various media outlets? None other than the former FBI counterintelligence officer and Dianne Feinstein aide Dan Jones, who is currently working with Fusion GPS and Steele to continue their Trump-Russia investigation, funded in by part by George Soros. Russian tricks, they ask? The Times noted that Steele has not ruled out that he may have been fed Russian disinformation while assembling his dossier. That would mean that in addition to carrying out an effective attack on the Clinton campaign, Russian spy masters hedged their bets and placed a few landmines under Mr. Trump's presidency as well. Oleg Dekoglin, a former KGB general who now lives outside Washington, saw that as plausible. Russia, he says in quotes, has huge experience in spreading false information, he said. This is from the New York Times. In short, Steele is being given an out with his admission. A lawyer for the Fusion GPS, Joshua Levy, says that the Mueller report substantiated the, in quote, core reporting in the Steele memos. Namely, that Trump campaign figures were secretly meeting Kremlin figures. Again, a lie. And that Russian President Vladimir Putin had directed a, in quote, covert operation to elect Donald J. Trump. Another lie. Of course, when one stops painting the broad brushstrokes, it's clear that the dossier was fabricated bullshit. That's our president's new favorite word, and I love it. The dossier tantalized Mr. Trump's opponents with a worst-case account of the president's conduct, and for those trying to make sense of the Trump-Russia saga, the dossier infused the quest for understanding with urgency. In blunt prose, it suggested that a foreign power had fully compromised the man who would become the next president of the United States. The Russians, it asserted, had tried winning over Mr. Trump with real estate deals in Moscow, which he had not taken up, and set him up with prostitutes in Moscow Hotel in 2013, filming the proceedings for future exploitation. A handful of aides were described as conspiring with the Russians at every turn. Mr. Trump, it said, had moles inside the DNC. The memos claimed that he and the Kremlin had been exchanging intelligence for 8 years and were using Romanian hackers against the Democrats. And that Russian pensioners in the United States were running a covert communication network, the New York Times. All of these 5 to 6 things are all projection from, this is what the Democrats were doing. And they were projecting it. They're telling on themselves. It's ridiculous. And after nearly a 2-year investigation by special counsel Robert Mueller and roughly 40 FBI agents and other specialists, no evidence was found to support the dossier's wild claims of a, in quote, DNC mole, Romanian hackers, Russian pensioners, or years of Trump-Putin intelligence trading, as the Times put it. Now that the shoe is on the other foot, my friends, and the key Democrats backing away from talks of impeachment, let's see if Lady Justice will follow the rest of us down the rabbit hole. My friends, this is the turning point. This is what Americans have been waiting for. This is justice. If you found this informative and you enjoyed it, my friends, please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter at TRUreporting, and don't forget to leave a like. The more likes that this video receives, the more times it is recommended to other viewers, thus more eyes on the truth. You can donate to this channel by going to my PayPal or Patreon in the description box below. I greatly appreciate all the support and love, and I will be speaking with you very soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.